Hi all, myself Raji Appale, Research Scholar at Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, India. Today I am going to give a presentation of our work on algorithms and complexity of S-club cluster vertex deletion. This is a joint work with Dr. Dibyan Chakrabarti and Professor Sunil Chandran of Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru and Dr. Sajid Padinacheti of BITS Pilani, India. This is the outline of my presentation. Vertex deletion problems form a core topic in algorithmic graph theory and it has many applications. A goal of vertex deletion problem is to delete the minimum number of vertices so that the remaining graph satisfies some property. For example, if we delete some vertices of a graph and the remaining graph is a clique, then we have this maximum clique problem. Similarly, after deleting minimum number of vertices and the resultant remaining graph is an independent set, then we have this maximum independent set problem. We study another variant of vertex deletion problem called S-club cluster vertex deletion. What is an S-club? For an integer S, an S-club is a graph with diameter at most S. Diameter is the maximum distance between the pair of vertices. The goal of S-club cluster vertex deletion is to delete the minimum number of vertices so that each connected component of the remaining graph is an S-club. It was first introduced by Schaffer in 2009. The corresponding decision version is given an undirected graph G and integers S, K, is there a subset of vertices D subset of V of size at most K such that each connected component of G minus D is an S-club? And if each connected component of G minus D is an S-club, then D is called S-club deleting set or simply SCD set. The special case of S-club is when S equal to 1 and that are 1 clubs and 1 clubs are actually cliques, that is of diameter at most 1. And the corresponding SCVD problem is 1 CVD, that is the popularly studied cluster vertex deletion problem. This problem has been broadly studied in literature since its inception due to Hafner et al. In 2010. Regarding the complexity of SCVD problem, for S greater than or equal to 1, SCVD problem is NP complete due to the following results. In 1978, a result of Enneka case implies that cluster vertex deletion is NP complete on planar graphs and bipartite graphs. And in 2009, Schaffer proved NP completeness of SCVD on planar graphs. Other results related to SCVD problem, particularly two-club cluster vertex deletion, is by Liu et al. In 2012, who studied the fixed parameter tractability of 2CVD. And recently in 2020, Fiegel et al. Proved that for 2CVD, there does not exist a polynomial kernel with respect to the solution size K. And for some special classes of graphs, and this cluster vertex deletion for S equal to 1, there exists polynomial time algorithms for split graphs and interval graphs, which was proposed by Kawa et al. In 2018. And recently, Sao and Sosa proposed a dynamic programming approach which can be used to get a polynomial time algorithm for cluster vertex deletion on bounded tree-width graphs. And our results are, we strengthen Schaffer's hardness result and we prove that for each S greater than or equal to 2, SCVD is NP hard on planar bipartite graphs with maximum degree 7. And also SCVD is APX hard on bipartite graphs with maximum degree 7. And our second result is, we prove the APX hardness of 2CVD on split graphs. And we have the theorem, unless the unique gains conjecture is false, there is no 2 minus epsilon approximation algorithm for 2CVD on split graphs. And finally, we study the computational complexity of SCVD for S greater than or equal to 1 on trapezoid graphs. And we propose a polynomial time algorithm for SCVD on trapezoid graphs. First, we discuss the hardness results on planar bipartite graphs. So we have two results, two theorems. And for proving this, we use a result by Gary and Johnson that minimum vertex cover on cubic planar graphs is NP complete. So as you know, for a given graph G, a subset of vertices S is called a vertex cover if for each edge of G, there exists at least one vertex corresponding to its endpoint in the set S. And a vertex cover of minimum cardinality is called minimum vertex cover. We shall reduce the minimum vertex cover on cubic planar graphs to SCVD on planar bipartite graphs of maximum degree self. For that, first we consider a cubic planar graph and we construct a planar bipartite graphs from this cubic planar graphs. So I shall explain this construction based on a simple example. So in this figure, you can see a graph G, it's a planar graph. And corresponding to this graph G, we construct a graph H. So we can see a symbol E, that's an edge. And assume that U and B are the vertices corresponding to the edge E. And in the graph H, corresponding to each of the vertex in G, we attach a pendant path on with S minus 2 edges. So here for S equal to 3, we introduce some pendant paths with one edge, and we introduce another edge from the vertex in the graph G to one of the pendant vertices. So like we obtain hanging pendant paths to each of these vertex in G, and then we introduce two different vertices corresponding to each edge E. So here we have two vertices XE and YE corresponding to the edge E, and finally we remove this edge E from the result graph, and we obtain this graph H. Clearly the graph H is planar graph and it is a bipartite graph also. And you can observe that if the given graph is a cubic planar graph, then the maximum degree of the graph H is at most 7 by this construction. Now we prove the result that G has a vertex cover of size K if and only if H has an SCVD set of size K. And the forward direction is easy to see. If G has a vertex cover of size K, okay, let's say that D be a vertex cover of the graph G. We have a vertex cover of this graph G, and we remove that vertex cover, vertices corresponding to the vertex cover from the graph H. Then what happens? We will get some components. Then let's see we have one connected component, and we have two options. Either a vertex of the original graph U can be there in the component. If U is there in the component, then it is clear that the neighbors of U must be there in the SCVD set. Why? Because it's a vertex cover, right? And for the original graph. So if U is not in the vertex cover, clearly the neighbors of U must be there in the vertex cover. So for the graph H, if U is in a component, then all the neighbors of U must be there in the SCVD set. So then how that component looks like? Then the components have this pendant path plus this vertex U and the vertices X's and Y's corresponding to all the edges incident to U. And we can easily see that the diameter of that component can be at most S. So now we can look at the second case. So that U is not in this component. So if a vertex U is not in the component, then the U is in the SCVD set. Then the component can be either this pendant path itself, or it can be a singleton set corresponding to some vertex corresponding to the vertices xc or ye. So this we can say that if G has a vertex cover of size k, then H has an SCD set of size k. And to prove the other direction, we have the following observations for an SCD set of H. Let S be an SCD set of H. For an H equal to UV of G, if any of this, if none of these vertices is in this SCD set, then at least one of the following is true. Why? Because if we can see in this example, if none of this vertex, suppose this one and this vertex is not there in this SCD set, then what happens? Then we can have a path of length greater than S, unless we should have a vertex from this any of these pendant paths or both the vertices XE and YE. Otherwise, we can have a path. So that is the first observation. So the set S contains at least one vertex each from PV and PU, or the set X contains both XE and YE. The second observation, for an SCD set S, both of the following are true. Suppose in the SCD set S contains a vertex W of PV. Forever where V is the vertex in V of G, corresponding vertex in the original graph G, then we can simply remove this vertex W from the SCD set S, and we can add the vertex V. That also gives us an SCD set of H. And second one, for an edge E equal to UV, if S contains both XE and YE corresponding to the edge, then we can simply replace XE and YE, and we can add both the vertices U and V into the set S. Then again, the newly constructed SCD set is an SCD set, and its cardinality is at most the cardinality of S. So from these observations, we can say that if H has an SCD set of size K, then G has a vertex cover of size K. And in 1997, Alamonte and Khan proved that minimum vertex cover is APX hard on cubic graphs. So using the result, we proved that SCVD is APX hard on bipartite graphs with maximum degree 7 using our reduction. The second result is on APX hardness on split graphs. And what are split graphs? Split graphs are graphs whose vertex set can be partitioned into a clique and independent set. So this is a split graph. So here we have a clique part and an independent set part. And to prove the APX hardness on split graphs, we reduce the minimum vertex cover MVC on general graphs to 2 CVD on split graph. So just see that for any split graph, the diameter is at most 3. And for split graph, we already discussed the one CVD problem, that is a cluster vertex deletion is polynomial time solvable for split graphs. But we cannot directly use those results or enhance those results to 2 CVD. Because this for S greater than or equal to 2, the SCVD problem, SCVD problem is not hereditary. So first we reduce minimum vertex cover on general graphs, and we take an instance whose maximum degree is at most n-3. And for such a graph G, we construct a split graph G split. So how we construct, we can see it with an example. So this is a split graph. Sorry, this is a graph G, and this is the complement of that graph G bar. And we construct a graph G split such that for each of these vertex in G, we introduce a vertex XV in G split. So corresponding to all these vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5 in G split. And corresponding to each edge in G bar, we introduce a vertex in G split. So here in G bar we have 6 edges and we introduce 6 vertices ye1, ye2 like that in G split. And for each pair of edges in G bar, we introduce an edge between the vertex corresponding to that. So for E1 and E2, we introduce an edge between ye1 and y2, and for each pair we introduce edge, and we can say that this is a clique on 6 vertices. And finally, for each edge E1, we connect this edge to its corresponding vertices. So ye1 is connected to x1 and xy. Why? Because e1 is an edge between the vertex 1 and 5. So this is how we constructed G-split, and clearly we can see that this ye1, y2, they form the clique part, and the set of vertices x1, x2, x3, x4, xy, they form the independent part. And another observation is that we already said that the maximum degree of this graph G is at most n minus 3. So for each vertex in this independent part, they have at least degree 2 in this G split. And similarly, this Y vertices in the clique part, they have exactly 2 neighbors in G split. So this is observation we have. And we prove a lemma for proving this hardness. There is a subset of I which is a minimum 2CD set of G split. So clearly we can see that once we remove all the independent vertices, we will get a clique, and it's obviously it's an 2 club. Anyway, it's an 1 club, right? So we prove this lemma that a subset of I, there is a subset of I which is a minimum 2CD set of G split. And using this, we are proving another lemma that if we have a subset of ID and we take the corresponding vertices in the original graph and we call it as a set D, then the set D is a 2CD set of G split if and only if T is a vertex cover of G. So you can see that both the set D and T, they are actually points to the same vertices, right? So one is the corresponding vertex in this original graph G, and D is the corresponding vertices of that in the G split. So in order to prove this, we can see that we can easily observe one direction. That is, if T is a vertex cover of G, so what remains in this original graph G? It's an independent set. So in the G bar, it is actually clique. So if it is a clique, then in G split, we can see that the diameter is at most 2. And so then we can say that the correspondingly D is a 2CD set. And now we can prove this other direction. Suppose D be a, so in this D be a vertex, 2 CD set, then what we can see is that, okay, once we just observe the other vertices in this independent set other than this D. So we can see that since by the observation we know that at least 2 neighbors are there in the clique. So the entire thing, whatever that is remaining after removing the SCD set, there is only one component, and the diameter of that component is 2. When the diameter is 2, then there is an edge between the vertices in G bar. So between every pair of vertices, there is an edge. That means it's a clique in G bar. So clique in G bar is actually an independent set in G. So that means what we have, the D is an SCD set, the corresponding set of vertices T is a vertex cover. And in 2008, Court and Rego showed that unless the unique game's conjecture is false, there is no 2 minus epsilon approximation algorithm for minimum vertex cover on general graphs for any epsilon greater than 0. So using the result and our reduction, we proved that unless the unit scheme conjecture is false, there is no 2 minus epsilon approximation algorithm for 2 CBD on split graphs. Finally, we have this polynomial time algorithm for trapezoid graphs. What are trapezoid graphs? So trapezoid graphs are a special class of intersection graphs. So what is an intersection graph? Given a collection C such that C is a set C1, C2, Cn, and the vertex set n and two vertices I and j are adjacent if and only if the corresponding sets Ci and Cj have non-empty intersection. Trapezoid graphs are a special class of intersection graphs where this collection C is restricted to contain only trapezoids between two horizontal lines. You can see one example. So here we have a graph G, and corresponding to this graph G we have a trapezoid representation. So we have two horizontal lines LT and LB, and for corresponding to each vertex we have a trapezoid, and two trapezoids intersect only if there is an edge between the corresponding vertices in G. So this is a trapezoid graph. And before moving to the polynomial time algorithm for trapezoid graphs, let's see some definitions. For each vertex V in the trapezoid graph G, we define this LT of V, that is the interval IT of V, that is the interval corresponding to the vertex in the top horizontal line, and LV of V as in IV of V as the interval corresponding to the vertex in the bottom horizontal line. For an induced subgraph H of G, we define this T minus of H, that is the left endpoint of an interval in the top horizontal line as the minimum of all the left endpoints of the vertices in V of H. And similarly, the right endpoint of H is the maximum of all the right endpoints of the vertices in V of H. Similarly, we can define this B minus of H and B plus of H for the left endpoints and right endpoint in the bottom horizontal line. And what a vertex V in the induced subgraph H is a corner vertex if any of its endpoints, that is the left endpoints in the top horizontal line as or bottom horizontal line, and the right endpoint in the top horizontal line or bottom horizontal line intersects with the points of the induced subgraph H. So anyway, there are only 4 points for each vertex V, right? And if that is the case, then we can say that V of V is a corner vertex of H. And for two induced subgraph H1 and H2 of G, H1 is set to left of H2 if the right endpoint of H1 as well as the right endpoint of H1 in bottom horizontal line. So in both the horizontal lines, it ends before the left endpoints of H2 in both the horizontal lines. And H1 and H2 of G are neighbor disjoint if the intersection of the vertex sets of H1 and H2 is an empty set, and there is no edge UV such that U is in the vertex set of H1 and V is in the vertex set of H2. And we can observe that H1 and H2 are neighbor disjoint if and only if either H1 is left of H2 or H2 is left of H1. And one more definition, a subgraph H of G is valid if whenever we have a vertex V in V of G such that its interval completely belongs to its interval in the top horizontal line as well as the bottom horizontal line completely within the interval corresponding to H, we have this vertex in V of H. And the distance between the corner vertices of H is at most S. Then we can say that the subgraph H is valid. And now we have this algorithm. First, for a given graph G, construct a graph marked H whose vertex set is all valid induced subgraphs of G, and two vertices H1 and H2 are adjacent if and only if H1 and H2 are not neighbor disjoint in G. And second, we assign weights Ws to each vertex H of H. and where Ws denotes the cardinality of the maximum S club of H. And last we decide if marker H has an independent set of weight K. So first we construct the new graph H, right, with all valid induced subgraph of G as vertex. So we know that at most n to the power 4 valid induced subgraphs are there for G. So we can say that this newly constructed graph has at most order of n to the power 4 vertices and order of n to the power 8 edges. And we can construct it in polynomial time. And we also show that the edges of the complement of the newly constructed graph can be transitively oriented, and hence marker H is a co-compatibility graph. And what is a co-compatibility graph? If the edges of a given graph G, the complement of a given graph G admits a transitive orientation, we call G as a co-compatibility graph. So clearly H is a co-compatibility graph if we can transitively orient the edges of this complement of that graph. And now we assign weight to each vertex. So the weight corresponds to cardinality of maximum S club. So for an induced subgraph, f of H is an S club. If it induces a clique in H power S. Hence the maximum S club of H corresponds to maximum clique in H power S. And for the class of trapezoid graphs, it is closed under taking induced subgraphs. So since H is an induced subgraph, H is also a trapezoid graph. And all trapezoid graphs are co-compatibility graphs. And the result of Damaski in 1992 proved that H power S is also a co-compatibility graph. And hence this, we have this maximum clique problem. We can find it in order of n plus m time due to an algorithm by Kohler and Maudad in 2014. And now we have another definition, weak S club. What is weak S club? For a trapezoid graph G, weak S club is a subgraph of G such that each connected component of it is an S club. And we prove the lemma that the trapezoid graph G has a weak S club with at least k vertices if and only if the marker H, that the newly constructed graph, has an independent set of weight at least k. And in our previous slide, we saw that we can easily find this independent set correspond. We can find this result of Kohler and Maudad, that n plus m time algorithm to find this maximum S club or the maximum clique. And another result of this Kohler and Maudad show that there is an n plus m time algorithm to compute the weighted maximum independent set also of a co-compatibility graph. So by this, we can, in polynomial time, we can find this maximum independent set, and corresponding to that, we can have this weak S club. And we can have this observation that for each S greater than or equal to 1, a graph G has a weak S club having k vertices if and only if G has an SCD set of size V of G minus cardinality of V of G minus k, that is n minus k. Thus we have a polynomial time algorithm for trapezoid graphs. So we studied 3 important classes for SCVD problem, that is planar bipartite graphs, split graphs and trapezoid graphs. And moreover, the computational complexity of cluster vertex deletion is unknown for planar bipartite, co-compatibility graphs and aspirate triple free graphs. So we have these open questions. Is there a polynomial time algorithm for SCVD on co-compatibility or aspirate triple free graphs? And for each is greater than or equal to 2, is there a constant factor approximation algorithm for SCVD on caudal graphs? Thank you.